Hello and welcome to another episode of Atomic Vinyl Reviews. My name is Jacob and today I'm going to be doing a little review of the recent 2020 movie Underwater. Now, this is a film that I didn't even know was coming out or existed or anything like that until I saw it the other day. Just me and my girlfriend were going out and on a whim we wanted to go see a movie, and this is what we saw. And yeah, I would want to say that I was pleasantly surprised. So let's talk about the movie. The movie is set, I believe, in the near future where there is a massive drilling operation going on in the Mariana Trench. For those of you who don't know, that is the trench at the very bottom of the ocean. I think it's somewhere in the Pacific Ocean, and it is the deepest point in the entire ocean. And, I think they made a big deal of it in the Meg movie, which I watched. And, it's a fairly well-known piece of geography in the ocean. And the basic idea is there's this massive complex that's built down there where people live and work, and there's some sort of drilling operation going down there. Why? I don't even know, don't even remember. It doesn't really matter to the film. But the basics plot story goes that we have the main character played by Kristen Stewart, um, the girl from Twilight, and she was in the recent movie, what was it called? I didn't go see it, nor have I seen the Twilight films, but I did see her in the Runaways movie playing Joan Jett, and she was pretty good there. But uh, the Charlie's Angels remake. That's the one. So she was in that recently, which I didn't go see, and I've heard some pretty things about it. Yeah. So yeah, starring her, a bunch of other people, but the basic plot premise is that the base is mysteriously falling apart. It's losing structural integrity. It's this big underwater sealed base, and it's falling apart. And the people have to, the remaining people, they ran out of escape pods, and they have to band together to try and get to another part of the complex that has escape pods. But they have to venture outside through the water, and there they run into some... By the way, this review is going to have spoilers. I'm not going to go delve too deep into them, but I will be talking about the plot pretty loosely. So just before I get into that, I will say I do recommend seeing this film. It is a really good sort of sci-fi horror movie. But yeah, pardon. So they have to venture out through the water beyond, and there they have to tackle the falling debris, also the extreme pressure of being that deep underwater. If like your suit is compromised, you're dead instantly. Like you literally like implode from the amount of pressure. And they also run into some Cloverfield monsters. So yes, this is a monster movie, hence why I'm reviewing it. Actually, I would have reviewed it anyway. I mean, I review like whatever, but generally monster focused. So yeah, there are monsters out in the water, and the sort of idea is that whatever they were drilling into must have opened up some sort of subterranean pocket, or in some like volcanic sort of area where there was heat and like life was able to evolve, and that's where these creatures came from. And they pretty much just look like the creatures from the Cloverfield movies. The Cloverfield monster, they have the weird long arms and like really pale sort of skin and sort of a vaguely humanoid body shape, but not quite. You know what I mean. So yeah, though there's all these weird creatures after them, the water is really murky. It's really hard to see out there, and yeah, they have to go and get to the place. And this movie is basically, and I think it's gonna get this comparison a lot, is basically Alien, or maybe even Aliens. It has elements of both, but instead of it set in space, it's set underwater. And it does a great job of that, actually. This film is incredibly suspenseful from start to finish. It is so tense, like every single moment, like there's almost no levity. Like you feel that the people are constantly in danger and that tension is built up really well. What also helps it is the sound design. The sound design in this film was really good, really eerie and echoey and really aggressive when it needed to be. We might have just had this experience because the theater we were seeing this in was playing this movie pretty damn loud compared to most other films I've been to, so that might have had a little bit to do with it, but regardless, good sound design. I really enjoyed that aspect to it, and visually, it was really well done. The cinematography was top-notch. It was very atmospheric and moody, and again, heavily inspired by Alien, which I absolutely love. So they did that really well. The characters are all pretty good. I like the characters. They did a really good job of those. Again, taking from the book of Alien, they were all sort of fairly natural feeling characters, which worked really well for the plot and the story. And yeah, it was just there's not too much it's like to go into detail with. It's pretty much the plot is just they're slowly being picked off one by one as they progress, and like the stakes get higher and higher, and it gets creepier and creepier, and very atmospheric. It's a film like that. So, you know, if you like Alien or Aliens, I think this film will definitely be up your alley. It's a really, because, you know, there's millions of films that try to bank off of those films and do that sort of formula, but out of those ones, this is one of the better ones. The production on it was really well done. Now, before I get into nitpicks, I'll just continue going along the plot. So, eventually, the remaining survivors do make it to a fairly safe space. You know, they get split up, and lots of different shit happens in between. And that's when there's the big reveal of what's actually causing the whole big drill under aquatic site to be damaged and destroyed, and that is Cthulhu. A big monster, a kaiju monster comes out from the middle of the crater where they're drilling, and it's basically Cthulhu. I mean, it's really... This is my main nitpick with this film. You can't see a lot of what's happening through the murky water, and the action scenes are very choppy when they're in the middle of the water, and they're, you know, running away from the monsters and stuff. You lose all sense of geography in those settings, and I know it's meant to evoke like this really eerie sort of a panicked feeling, like you don't really know what's going on and the characters don't either. But I think retaining some sense of geography and just it not being a big gray, black, blue blur would have added to the film a little bit. But that's my one major nitpick. My second one would just be Kristen Stewart's hairstyle. I really hate it. But she did great acting in the film, actually. It's just, yeah, I don't like that style of hair on people, and that's not even like a sexist thing, by the way. It's not because she's a woman and she has like that short buzz cut or whatever. I like long hair on everybody, as you can tell. Well, that's just my thing. But whatevs. Continuing on. So yeah, Cthulhu just comes out of nowhere, and at the very end, the last couple of escape pods are compromised, and so the two other remaining survivors go in the escape pods, and Kristen Stewart's character stays behind, and she basically self-destructs herself and commits Sudoku. And in order to destroy the Cthulhu monster, to let those escape pods get to the surface, because there's this weird scanner that shows that all the other monsters are chasing the escape pods up to the surface. I have a couple of minor issues with this part of the film too. One, Kristen Stewart's character could have clearly fit into one of the other escape pods. She was like anorexically thin in this film, and she's just she has a really tiny frame, so she could have squeezed in with one of the other people into their escape pods, and not left herself to die, basically. And two, the fact that the explosion, that both the scanners picked up all the like life forms and identified where they were and where they're moving and all this shit, looked really contrived. And also the fact that the explosion exactly covered the radius of where the monsters were, but not the escape pods. That was all a little bit funny. But again, this is right at the very end of the film, and the rest of it was really good, really suspenseful, and I strongly recommend checking this one out. I've been seeing some of the, I haven't been reading the reviews, just looking at the star rating, that it's been at like a 50-60% liked it film, and I think that's way too low. This film's actually really decently made. Yeah, it borrows a lot from Alien, but so many films do, and this one does it well. So yeah, go see Underwater, guys. It's pretty damn good. It's if you like a nice suspenseful sci-fi horror flick, you can't go wrong with this one. So yeah, that is it for this little video, guys. So don't forget to like and or subscribe, because it's always awesome when you guys do that. And yeah, that's it for this video. May all your vinyl be radiated vinyl. Over and out.